In Tucson, Arizona, where Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie, still missing right now. Investigators have held two news conferences earlier this week, notifying the public that they were signs of forced entry at that Arizona home and that she was, quote, taken against her will. That's what they believe. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos urged whoever took Guthrie to return her immediately, stating that she could die without some critical medication. While a motive remains a mystery, the Pima County Sheriff's Department is also reviewing alleged ransom notes, including a note sent to our Scripps News Group affiliate, K-Gun. And right now I'm being told in my ear we're going to bring in our guest for this hour, joining us from Tucson, Scripps News Group in Phoenix, Adam Minzer. So you're there, boots on the ground. You've been covering the case. There are reports of a possibly family member involved in this abduction, just reports at this point in time. How are police responding to those claims?
Yes, Matt, we actually got a statement from the Pima County Sheriff just a short while ago saying that they have no suspects in custody and they have none identified, putting to rest a lot of the rumors that have been circulating online this morning. But at the same time, that interest in this story is really only growing, and those rumors seem to be circulating. I've been talking to neighbors, they're hearing them. But again, the facts, as you just mentioned them right there a few moments ago, we do know an 84-year-old woman was taken from her home at some point over the weekend, and it's been nearly 4 days of investigations, and we are still don't have a suspect in custody, don't have one identified that law enforcement are telling us about right now.
Yeah, and there are several alleged ransom notes that have surfaced, including one with Scripps News Group Tucson that has been turned over, and one with TMZ that they reported. What have we learned?
Yes, for right now, what Scripps News Group is doing, we sent that over to law enforcement, to the FBI, to make sure that they have everything that they need, but we have not been able to verify anything that was in that note. What I can say about those alleged potential ransom notes is that they did include threats to kill Miss Guthrie if no information was provided by Thursday. Very sorry, just kind of making sure I'm aware of our environment. We are outside one of the homes related to the Guthries right now, so I'm trying to make sure that while we're on the ground here, we're seeing the latest. But to what you were saying about the note, the threat was for Thursday, that the Guthries would be, on Thursday, if nothing were to happen, no information were to come forward, or no information, let me correct myself, if somebody doesn't send about millions of dollars in crypto money to this alleged ransomer, they threatened to kill Nancy Guthrie. So a very, very harsh threat, one that law enforcement says that they're taking seriously. But at the same time, there's so much tips, evidence, and different things that have been coming to light. The note does reference two specific pieces of evidence from the crime scene, but at this point, we have not been able to verify anything within it, Matt.
Yeah, you know, and there's a lot going on at the crime scene right now behind you, right? It's an active scene. There's a lot of people moving cars behind you.
I'll actually stop you right there.
Yeah.
When you mentioned crime scene, that we haven't seen caution tape, we haven't seen investigations. There aren't law enforcement in front of these homes that we're talking about. So that's actually one of the really curious things at the center of all of this, which is kind of the investigation itself. Where is it? Where is it located? Because kind of these physical locations where we usually see a lot of police activity, a lot of deputies out front, a lot of crime tape, that we aren't seeing those right now.
Yeah, you know, and we're looking at photographs of what could be possible blood. We know that the Pima County Sheriff, they've taken some swabs or potential DNA that's being tested. What have we learned about that? It's really interesting that you mentioned that there is no crime scene tape, because there should be around that home. And we're also hearing reports that cameras have gone missing. So what's the mood like in front of the homes there?
Yeah, I'll say a couple things on that note, whether or not there should or shouldn't be a crime scene. We do know investigators turned over the home to the family. We learned that in one of those earlier news conferences. So they're telling us that they only need to come into the homes, the relevant homes, if the investigation leads them here, saying that they have no more evidence that they need to gather. You're talking about that substance that was right next to actually a front doormat of the home that appears to be blood. We have not confirmed whether that is blood, what that substance is. We've been told that things have been sent for testing, but we don't know specifically that this was sent for testing, and we don't know specifically whose blood that is, if it is indeed blood.
Adam Minter with KNXV. Thanks so much for taking the time and updating us. I know that there's a lot of moving parts right now, and we're learning details up to the minute, so thank you, and stay safe out there. Joining me here in studio, trial attorney Lisa Bonner. Your initial thoughts on this, and there may not be ransom notes connected to the case. It's kind of weird, one sent to a local affiliate, but then another one that we possibly know about is TMZ. I mean, the connection here, what's your thoughts?
This is something that is kind of all over the place, right? They're not really giving us a lot of information. Like you said, is it a crime scene or isn't it? Yeah. Was she taken against her will? Was a family member involved? There's so much speculation, and the detectives and the FBI investigators are all really holding their cards very close to the vest, which leads me to believe that they know a lot more that they are leading on, because they're not really disseminating so much information. They're of course asking for tips, of course, but they're not really giving us the information that we would need to piece this together. So I do believe that there may be some, I'm simply speculating, but based on everything, the way the chips are falling, it seems like they do know more than they are letting on, for sure. And in instances like this, where this is such a random victim, why Savannah Guthrie's mother?
Right.
Why? So in instances like this, it's generally someone that you know that is involved. So I would not be surprised if it may have been a family member like they're discussing on TMZ. It's a lot that they're not telling us, which means they know more, and this seems to be a little bit hitting closer to home.
Well, you're not wrong. I mean, there's just so many questions as to why this potential victim, 84-year-old woman, was she targeted because of her daughter's celebrity? And then these alleged ransom notes asking for Bitcoin, millions of dollars. Otherwise, they're going to kill this victim. And you know what? They also put a specific date on it, according to some of the reporting out there, that the Bitcoin needs to be received by Thursday, which kind of perked my ears because I've been covering this story for the past couple days, and I covered the news conference yesterday where authorities said this, if we can play it.
Look, I know you guys are doing your job, and you're doing a great job, but we have a job to do too, and I really need to back away from this for a while, and we'll see you, unless something breaks, we'll see you Thursday morning. PIO will give you a time frame, I'm guessing somewhere around 11:30.
That's it. And then he walks out of the room. So what really, you know, you didn't think anything of it. You know, I was just like, oh, that's kind of weird. They're skipping over Wednesday today, because they've been giving the news media a lot of access and answering a lot of questions daily with daily news briefings, right? And then they say nothing until Thursday. I'm not thinking anything of it. And then the news starts to surface that TMZ was reporting that they received that note. And then we learned through the Scripps News affiliate that they received a similar note, possibly, where they used Thursday in the wording of that note. So to your point, you know, we just don't know what we don't know at this point in time, right? And I think that that's probably important for these investigators as they work towards getting a suspect and resolving this, hopefully bringing her home.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. They, again, this is just such a random victim. Savannah is America's sweetheart. She is the least controversial person that I could think of. I don't ever like to count anybody's money, but it's not like she is a Elon Musk or a billionaire of sorts. I mean, you know, so it's just weird. And then I went on her Facebook page and I looked at Nancy Guthrie's Facebook page. She was liberal leaning, but nothing out of the ordinary. So this is just such a random victim, which again leads to believe that she may have known and there is something else involved. And to skip a day of testimony, of briefing.
Updates,
yeah, it's just, okay, so what are you guys doing? What are you not telling us? I do believe they know a lot more, and I think it's going to break tomorrow.
You've been in the true crime space and on the law side for so many years, you know, and I just think that it's also unusual that the home hasn't been secured, or at least the front of the home.
What is that about? I mean, you said it. It's a crime scene, and the reporter said, no, it's not. There is no tape. It's not cordoned off. So it means if I wanted to go up and snoop around, I could do so. So you are tainting the crime, the area where her home where she was taken. It makes no sense to me. That's why there's so much going on. Like I said, they're not telling us. I do believe that they have some serious and important leads in this case that they're not discussing.
And even though they said Thursday, tomorrow, they said that they'll break in and let us know if they have any other updates. So we are standing by. We have resources there, boots on the ground, and we're going to be following this case. Thank you for your thoughts on this.